Hello. This presentation was originally built for 30 minutes of attention with Scott Ambler that gave me the opportunity of talking about his discipline in Agile and the application of resource scheduling optimization, which I'm working for my at-home planner. Ambler talks about the importance of the lean change management cycle, and then I bring the attention that resource scheduling optimization is a great fit to LMC because it's going to help on the insights. It's going to give the users options for the development of the project, so you can actually work the minimal viable changes and thus operate in your cycle for your product line. When interacting with discipline Agile, we need to understand some of the principles of the resource scheduling optimization. First of all work is performed by resources. This means that whatever we put to build our product, there's always a resource that's going to be part of that construction. So we need to identify the work and the resources that are applied to that particular work. And also, a resource can only work one task at one time. This does not mean it cannot multitask. It just means that at the moment I'm doing task one, I am working on task one. If I stop to work on the task two, then I'm working on task two. But a resource can only work on one task at one time. And then, because of this, the order in which multiple tasks with multiple resources are executed may increase or decrease the total work performed on a time box. That is the main point in which resource scheduling optimization can help agile teams into fitting the best work at the best time, and therefore making it possible to build more at each one time box. And these tasks, when I'm trying to understand them, I work with the idea of the 8M. It comes from the Ishikawa 6M: manpower, machine, material, methods, the milieu, and the measurement. These all affect the way we are building these tasks. And then we have money as also an effect to how tasks can be performed, especially in environments in which you have to control the money, not just on software teams and squads and so on. And then you also have the momentum, which is how this task will become a time taker in the end of your process. Right? We start our journey to understand RCO and the Agile with two deliveries. Delivery 1, it's based on task A and B. Delivery 2 is based on task C and D. Depending on efforts needed and resources applied to deliver 1, which is comprised of task A and B, and delivery 2, which is comprised of task C and D, if we start from D1 instead of D2, we may have a different way in which all tasks fit or do not fit to a certain time box. And this is what we're going to see it when we're trying to bring some scheduling intelligence from resource management perspective into the understanding of the tasks that are being performed. Our time box in which I need to get tasks delivered, and we're going to put on this time box our delivery 1 and our delivery 2. But here I'm also giving an idea of what would be like a Gantt view of one task based on the size of this task as a result of the effort that it needs to be put by a resource. So basically what I'm saying here is that TA and TC are tasks to be performed by Scott, so they are on this brownish color. And then we have TB and TD that's going to be performed by Peter, which is on this, I don't know, blue colored. And we also know that TA, TB, and TD are a little more complex. So they're going to take like 4 days for this example. And TC is a very short task. It's just going to take 1 day. And we are here saying that there's a dependency, natural dependency of one task to another, such as, for example, TA is the idea and the TB is the development, or TA is the development and TB is the testing. So we're saying that for delivery 1, we do need 2 steps that are going to pass through 2 people, and there are different timing happen when you accomplish those tasks that are going to be work on this particular time box. And when tasks are performing, the momentum of the deliveries may be different based on a chosen sequence. That is where resource scheduling will jump in and give you some possibilities of insights. So project teams can, product teams, let's say that way, right? Product teams will be able to pick the best options to work more in each time box. In practical terms, teams are going to pick cards that represent tasks and they're going to work on it. And if for some reason Scott gets TA from delivery 1 first, he's going to take 4 days to start working on that particular task. And he's only going to be able to start performing TC after that. And when he starts to work on delivery 2, then Pete can jump in and starts to work on delivery 1 and then delivery 2. And this makes that all these 4 tasks, they have a momentum of 12 days. This means I'll take 4 days for Scott to start giving some work for the rest of the team. We have other 4 days for Peter and Scott to continue working on delivery 1 and delivery 2. And we have an extra 4 days for Pete to accomplish the final touch for the delivery 2. And if then my time box is of 10 days, this means that I'm not going to be able to fulfill these 2 deliveries for that particular time box. However, if we do think of a resource scheduling optimization, if we are checking the possibilities and the combinations of people and tasks and the involvement of people from different teams and whatever other resources we can bring in or out from a certain moment by checking other possibilities, other strategies of taking the work, we can actually make big changes. In this case, when I adopt the idea of resource leveling with the optimization, I bring the total momentum of deliveries to 9 days, simply because I start from the faster task. So Scott will start from delivery 2, will do some work, it will provide Peter a way to work on his task for 4 days. And the moment Pete is working on this particular task that's going to take him 4 days, Scott is also working 4 days on delivery 1. So by the time the 2 finish their work, it's only a matter of Pete finishing up the second part of delivery 1. And this total work will then be developed in 9 days. So if our time box is of 10 days, this means we can actually fit all the work that was planned, D1 and D2, simply because we started from the tasks that would demand less attention at first, so it would give the rest of the team the possibility of working faster. This is a moment that we first say, wow, there is something that can be done, so more work can fit each time box. And teams that are self-managed, they can fix and they can find and they can work around most of the things that are necessary all through their time boxes so they can perform the best work. But at the same time, they can do that and they will do it even better than normal predictive scheduling and so on. Still, there are some ways that may happen because you are not aware of all the combinations that are there. So in somehow, self-managed teams will waste momentum from time to time. And then if we are able to collect some information from the backlog, and if we define the tasks for each time box with some set of parameters, such as the business value, the effort, the size of the task that's going to be worked with. It doesn't matter if you're going to use some kind of plan poker or other kind of punctuation system. You're always going to be able to make a differentiation of effort from one task to another one. Maybe there is some logical dependencies that you're already aware, and then you can include it there, or you can leave it for later. But all little parameters that you can actually give to a task will provide information to an artificial intelligence system to provide the best resource scheduling optimization for that particular scenario. So then we go back to the idea from the book of Scott Ambler. So we come to the point that the real goal is to effectively achieve desired organization outcomes, not to be or to do Agile. So we need to have better decisions. And these better decisions lead to better outcomes. And the AI resource scheduling optimization provides the right strategy for effectively achieving these organization outcomes. And that is going to be used by these self-managed teams. So in the other hand, the same time we say self-managed teams may waste momentum, we can also say that AI-powered teams gain insights for the optimum self-management they are going to perform. So this presentation was just a quick exposure of how is the basic resource scheduling and the optimization and the argumentation that it can work around Agile. I had the great time of Scott Ambler that gave me the opportunity of showing him this for like 30 minutes. And then I would really want to thank him for his time. And then he was capable of giving very interesting feedback that's going to be helpful for the development of any procedure, software, or whatever path we get to bring AI into Agile, right? So he says, cool, you have identified a real problem and it seems to be an effective solution. However, many teams are not and will not use any type of software, right? So all that hardcore teams that are only going to work on their boards, on paper, and so on, they are never going to have these benefits that we can bring it when we apply some software to collect information and then AI to work on that. But, so he says, I'm going to have this issue collecting this data. However, we also discussed the new moment we are all living in, and people are working remotely for many reasons. Not just because they have outsourcing in different countries, which is basically most of my experience, but because people that are in the same city now, they have to work remotely because of the pandemic. So working with remote teams, particularly outsourced teams, is a scenario where people are likely to use the type of management software which then would provide the data you need. So at the same time, he says it's going to be very, very difficult for you to apply this concept into day-to-day Agile teams. There is a window of opportunity of bringing this intelligence to whoever needs any type of electronic software so they can deal with remote teams. So that's the moment. Let's get AI together with Agile and let's get momentums better. Let's do more, even more work with Agile for each possible time box that is agreed with our end customers. Thank you very much, and thanks to Ambler for watching the original presentation and give me the path to follow through.